Troubled airspace giant Boeing's safety lapses amplified over the weekend. A KLM Boeing 777 bound for Rio de Janeiro made an emergency landing back at Amsterdam's Schiphol airport shortly after takeoff. The flight reported an unspecified technical issue and turned around over Belgium. Meanwhile, a Virgin Atlantic flight bound for San Francisco was forced to reroute after its windscreen cracked mid-air at 40,000 feet. The incident occurred nearly 3 hours after it took off from London's Heathrow Airport. The history of safety issues date back to 2018 and 2019 crashes of the 737 MAX 8, resulting in 346 deaths. These incidents eroded public trust and triggered regulatory actions, contributing to a challenging period for Boeing. A recent survey also reveals that Americans are scared of flying as Boeing's safety lapses continue. The company's leadership has undergone a shake-up, with CEO Dave Callan announcing his departure by year-end. And this comes as Boeing faces potential criminal charges from the U.S. Justice Department related to the 737 MAX crashes. Now, Boeing's troubles aren't limited to commercial aviation. The company's ambitious Starliner spacecraft, designed to ferry astronauts to and from the International Space Station, it's also encountered difficulties. A recent crewed mission for Starliner was forced to indefinitely delay its return to Earth due to technical issues, including helium leaks and thruster failure. The Starliner program, it has also incurred significant cost overruns, raising questions about its long-term viability. A recent report also claims that NASA overlooked Boeing leaks during the pre-launch. This possibly puts NASA on the hot seat as well. Boeing is at the crossroads. The company faces potential loss of government contracts, reputational damage, of course, and ongoing delays in its space program. The future of Boeing's leadership and its ability to regain public trust remain uncertain. All right, to discuss this further, we're now being joined by Dr. Amitabh Ghosh from Washington, D.C. He's a space scientist who served as a chair for the Science Operation Group for the Mars Exploration Rover mission at NASA. So thank you so much for joining us on WION.
Thank you.
Sir, now, of course, troubles continue for Boeing. In such a scenario, what contingency plans are usually in place to aid the astronauts in the International Space Station and to ensure their safety?
So, at this point, the SpaceX vehicle as well as the Russian Soyuz are docked into the station. So all three, Starliner, the SpaceX vehicle, as well as Soyuz are. So I think there is no inherent concern here that somehow there will be a way for the astronauts to come back. But I think we are far away from that. In every mission, there are some things that are probably not perfectly optimal. And so the engineers are basically watching the data, and based on that, they will try to decide that whether it is safe or not safe. And I'm sure that's what NASA is also trying to shepherd. And I think the right decision will be taken. So I don't think there's any concern.
All right, sir, but it's Boeing that we're talking about. It's faced a lot of turbulence, from faulty planes to leaky spacecrafts. The question is, will Boeing ever be able to regain trust? How can accountability be ensured for such grave errors time and time again?
So there has been a perception issue, I think, and that will take a long time to repair. But if you think of all the planes that are being flown by different airlines throughout the world, maybe a very significant fraction, if not like 50%, are Boeing planes, and everything is going fine. There has been some issues, but airlines are still using it, and they would not have been using these planes if they thought these were unsafe. And there were no huge disasters in the last 1 or 2 years. So having said that, there are very capable engineers at Boeing, I'm sure. And the Starliner issue, this is a huge developmental project over maybe 12 or 14 years, a $4 billion NASA contract to develop Starliner. And so in this final stages, some hiccups are not out of the way. I mean, this really can happen. Doesn't mean that Boeing has become completely incapable. If you were watching SpaceX's Starship testing, I think they had many problems over the last 1.5 years, and they are perfecting it as they go forward. So while it's first in the public and there was a Senate hearing, the Boeing CEO came and it was a contentious hearing, and the public perception has suffered, but it's still a great company, and I don't see any very bold mistakes that cannot be recovered from.
All right. Well, that being said, of course, Boeing has a lot of work to do. Dr. Ghosh, thank you so much for joining us on WION with your perspective on this. For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.